I wasn't born with much, but $1 billion dream. Big cash, thick stash, dripping out my handbag. If you need to borrow, that's so rich, don't ever pay me back. Funny, haters watch and learn, hustling 101 for dummies. If you wanna earn, trust me, I'm the one to study. None of mine ever had shit, but our bloodline is not average, and in due time.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Phoenix Novell, and thank you for tuning in to another Musicians on Gigs video. This video is called How to Negotiate for a Gig as a Musician. Now, some of you guys have agents already, so you don't necessarily have to do the work to find the gig and to make sure all the terms and conditions are to your liking. You have somebody in place that you're probably paying, 10% or whatever, to find the gigs for you, to make sure that you have all the logistics down, so that all you have to do is worry about your clothing, you got your gear right, you're looking the part, you're ready, you got your songs, you're ready to perform, and you just have to worry about being an artist. That's cool. I don't recommend that. All right, personally, I don't recommend leaving everything to somebody else, because I just feel like artists should be more in the know. They should know what's going on. They're the ones who are on the gig, they're on the job. And I feel like the more involved you are, the more you're aware of what's expected of you, the more you're aware of what to do and if this particular gig is right for you. And the more you train yourself to learn the business to do this, if you decide one day that you don't want an agent, if your agent start popping off or your manager start acting up, or they're being inconsistent, or they're not getting you the jobs that you want, whatever. It just puts more control and power in your hand. Now, if you don't want to deal with it, sometimes it's okay to delegate, but not knowing how to do it for yourself just kind of puts you at the mercy of waiting for them to get these deals closed. So it's not hard. It's not hard, actually. Negotiating is, for me, it's fun, because I know the more confident you are as an artist, the easier it is for you to negotiate. You're talking about the ideal situation you want for yourself. You're talking about your life for the one event, a one-off event, or for a 2-week to 6-month gig duration. You're talking about the terms and conditions that will make you feel good to give them this amount of time of your life, to invest in their growth for this amount of time of your life. And so you have to think about that. They're trying to get as much as they can get for as little as they can. So you need to get as much as you can get for as little as you can, right? And everything that they ask for more of, you need to increase what you need in order to be able to agree to those terms and conditions, right? I mean, for me, it depends on how big the gig and the situation is. If it's a gargantuan contract and it's like serious and there's a whole lot of fine print that I'm talking about, you're probably best to get yourself a lawyer or somebody who understands the legal jargon, if there is something in there that you just like right over your head. But if it's a basic contract, like a DJ gig, or it's a New Year's Eve performance, or so like a one-time event or something like that, or like, I'm talking about smaller scale, because when you start talking about those big numbers, things, and something goes wrong, or you get sick or whatever, then you could be liable. So, I mean, gauge your level of knowledge and expertise. That's why I said, if you have somebody on your team that you're also learning from, then you'll be able to have a background when you decide to do it by yourself. Don't just go out there and do it by yourself if you don't know what the hell you're doing, just because you want to play. This is your life. And contracts are in place for a reason, so that you can sue, or they can sue, or there could be a situation where you have to have a conversation. You got it in writing. Protect yourself. Get it all in writing. And be a person of your word. Because you put it out there, your reputation is damaged, or theirs is damaged, based on what you agreed on the dotted line that you would be able to do, or vice versa. Okay? So firstly, when you're negotiating, you you have to understand that they want something from you, right? Or if you're going to them, you want something from them. So it's right off the bat. It's nothing personal about that. It's business. It's business. How can you make my venue better? How can you help me, increase my image so that I can get better gigs? You're looking to use each other in tandem so that you can actually level up, right? So understand that it's not personal. They're going to look at your pictures. They're going to look at your video reel. They're going to look at your resume. They're going to look at and they're going to see if they need you, right? And just like you look at them and you say, oh, wow, I saw so-and-so perform there. I saw that they look great. Once they got this gig, they was able to get those other gigs. But this gig really, put them on the map. So you're looking at them because you think that they could help you. So when you go to the table, you have to present how you are going to be useful for them, just like you expect them to be useful to you. So right away, why do they need you? Why do they want your brand? Do you have a fan base already? Show them everything that you have that will make them say, this is worth my time, to give this artist what they are asking for. All right. So first and foremost, why should they take the time? How are you like the other artists that they booked, or better? Right? Like, they're going to look at why they need you, and you, just like you need to look at why you need them. All right. So then they're going to say, well, what are you willing to do this for? You might present them with a proposal that includes the price that you're asking for, that includes everything that you're willing to do, that includes what you're going to bring to the table, that includes, what kind of, if they're paying for a hotel or they're paying for your flight ticket, that you need to include everything that you're asking for from them, just like they'll include everything that they need you to do as well. So how to negotiate is really, really about understanding what the people that you're coming to need, and understanding what it is that you're looking for from them, and making it clear on both sides what you're getting versus what you're giving versus what you're getting, and following through. Don't promise more than you can deliver. Don't say that you can do something that you have no experience of doing, or that you have no budget to find the people that have the experience to do, right? Come to the table and be willing to show up, right? If you have a gig where it's not just a one-off, and you have to talk about work permits, and you have to talk about housing, and you have to talk about how many sets a night you're going to perform, who you're working with, then it's probably going to be a little bit of a process. It's not going to be just a situation where, okay, you get the contract and you sign it tomorrow. You need to do your due diligence, right? And if you can talk to people that are already on the gig, or you made friends with people who have done the gig, or know about it, or know somebody who knows somebody, the more informed you are, the better. Because you can gauge what you should ask for. You can gauge from what they've done and the issues they've come in contact with what you can actually bring to the table. Is this the gig for me? Can I do 4 sets a night? Can I, socialize with the customers? Can I perform these kind of songs? Can I dance as well? You have to have something to gauge from. So like I said, if you already seen people perform live shows there, then you already know what they're expecting. If you know the artist personally, then you know the issues that they've encountered. Does the client have a reputation of not paying you on time? Does the client have a reputation of not following through with what the agreement in terms was? Does the client have a reputation of disrespecting the artist, or overbooking you, or expecting you to perform past what the contract said, or expecting you to hang out with the customers nonstop? You need to know this because it helps you negotiate from a higher vantage point. You're not just looking at them like this, oh my God, because they can feel that. Just like you can feel when they're desperate. They can feel when you're desperate. So lead with confidence and be honest with yourself in terms of whether or not you should be asking for all the things you're asking for. I have an acronym that I like to use, and it's called CARL, CARL. C stands for contract. A stands for aim. R stands for reputation. And L stands for logistics. Okay? So get the contract. And in the beginning, it can mean their proposal or your proposal. Something in writing, not just ideas or flights of fancies or thoughts or visions. Get it in writing so that you can actually analyze it. And if you want to send it to somebody else to analyze it, you can, because it's in writing, okay? So once that's established, then you have an idea of what they're looking for. This could just be the blueprint. I'm not talking about signing right away. I'm talking about get an idea of what they're looking for, because you can make sure if you can deliver it, and you can make sure if it's worth you even investing in, okay? And vice versa. So if you're going to present a proposal, they have something to compare to what they're used to, and then there's a grounds for communication, right? And there's a level of understanding, yes or no. Aim, right? What is it that you're aiming at? Why this venue? Why would they pick you? Why is it good for you? Why is it bad for you? What are you trying to accomplish from doing business with them, right? Having a goal in mind that you want to reach by working with them, and by them choosing to work with you. What's the destination? What are we aiming at? Okay? So this is where, when I mentioned before, you believe that they can put you on a platform to be seen and get better gigs. They believe that you can help them maintain the level of status that they have because you are well known and you have a great social media presence. And if you promote them on your page, then it keeps people coming back and believing that this venue will always have the best up and coming talent or whatever, okay? That's the aim. R is for reputation. What's your reputation? What's their reputation? And you're looking at them, and you're looking at the artists who they work with, you're listening to what they have to say, and they're looking at you, what you have to offer, why being associated with you is in their best interest. And, it's business, because once you tie yourself to a brand, and that brand ties themselves to you, by association, you either go up or you go down. It is what it is, right? Because if you tank, then in their mind, they brought, in the mind of the people who come and see the show, they brought a whack artist. And if they are unfulfilling of their promise and their purpose, or if, a lot of artists don't have nothing good to say, then you have to be careful, because you get in bed with them, you might not have a good reputation, or people might say, oh, they work at that place, oh, that place is whack. That's the only club that would hire them, whack artist, whack club, whatever. They could make or break you in the sense of you trying to build your reputation. So you have to look at the reputation that they already have, and you have to look at the reputation that you have and joining with them. That's why they want to see, your skill level. That's why they want to see what your social media fan base is. That's why they want to see what you're bringing to the table, because they have to gauge on what they're putting out there and if it's worth it or not to invest in you, and vice versa. And logistics. Logistics is about taking care of the business side, the side that's not necessarily, it involves being on the stage too. So I'm talking about not just on the stage. So the logistics is also about who's taking care of flight tickets, how and when are you going to get your work permit, and who's covering the cost of that. How many clothing changes are you expected to do? Who's making the tracks? If you have a track, am I expected to play music all the time? Is there going to be a DJ? Who am I living with? How am I getting back and forth from the gig every night? Do I have to stay? Can I find my own housing, or do you have to find my housing for me? And if I don't like it, can I find a place and you pay for that? Am I getting food? Are you taking care of my food? Are you providing costume changes and money for costumes? Can I have a visitor? The things that create the whole picture are the logistics, because that's basically you understanding from the bat what's expected of you, and vice versa. It makes it easier for you to deliver. It makes it easier for you to feel secure and not to have to worry about trying to figure stuff out when you get on the gig, because when you know everything up front, then you're aware and you're clear, and so that can allow you to perform with 100% of your focus, because you're not worried about, who do I talk to about this electricity that went off? Who do I talk to about the water not working? Who I talk to? You know all these things. And a lot of companies won't have legit companies won't have a problem having someone in place already and let you know this is the person that will take care of this for you, because they don't always, people at the top don't always want to have to deal with that, you know, but somebody needs to deal with it, and it can affect the show if it's not dealt with. So you don't want to find that out when you get overseas. You want to make sure that you're on point with it before you go, because when you get overseas, you're trying to make sure that you're on your A game as an artist more than anything. You got to get your sleep right. You got to rehearse. You got to perform. You got to show up. So you don't want to have to worry about, oh, damn, I didn't ask about that before I got here. Now I got to figure out. And hopefully they accommodate it and not leave it up to you to take care of it for yourself. So hopefully I helped you guys understand how to negotiate better, how to understand the importance of you being involved in the process. Even if you have somebody, like I said, that's completely 100%, you know, your spokesperson, make sure that you are getting what it is that you want. Even if they have to sit down with you and break down everything and then relay what it is you want, because you don't want to deal with having to be seen as or thought of as bougie or just extra, you know, or high maintenance, whatever it is. We have our own idiosyncrasies and reasons for what we do, but just make sure that you're not so dependent on that spokesperson that when you get on that gig, you can't say what it is you need if you can't get in contact with your agent or manager, and decisions need to be made and they need to know what to do or what you want or what's going on. Or say, for instance, somebody got fired. The person who hired you got fired. Now, you know, you need to communicate and make it clear that this is what I agreed to and this is what I can do, and be able to speak for yourself, because it just appears that you're aware and knowledgeable and well-spoken and independent enough to express what it is that you want. Okay? All right, guys, tune in for the next Musicians on Gigs video, which will be coming up shortly. Bye, guys.